I'm Tim. Welcome to Watch One, and thanks for logging on. Today, we're looking at the Urwerk UR-103T Tarantula. This 1 of 60 rose gold limited edition Urwerk 103T can be seen and purchased on our website, watchyouwant.com. And if you enjoy these videos, please subscribe to our YouTube channel, Watch You Want Inc. Now you can see on my wrist 6 1/3 inches, 16 centimeters in circumference, although this watch is 50 millimeters from extremity to extremity and 36.5 millimeters wide, plus, let's face it, 14 millimeters thick. There is no ergonomic challenge, even on my smaller wrist. In fact, the watch isn't even pushing the limits of my wrist. You could wear this watch securely on a wrist as small as 14 centimeters in circumference. And the key to that is the unusual combination of underslung lugs and extremely flexible pin bar pivots that Urwerk equips this case with. Now you can see that not only is the lug actually underneath the extremity of the case, it's actually set back somewhat from the edge of that 50 millimeter lug-to-lug span. So really what we're talking about with this watch is a footprint on your wrist that's a little bit different than the size of the case itself. Now because the case is so abundantly rounded with complex contoured crystal, you can see how even though it's fairly thick, it would be easy for a dress cuff to ride up and over this with no real chance of getting caught. It's that heavily sloped and that smoothly finished. Moreover, Urwerk uses a broad strap that actually fills the span of the case so that the watch is nicely planted when it's on the wrist with no tendency to torque or try to fight the span of the strap. The fact that it's braced, it's anchored at both sides by the strap means it sits secure even on a smaller wrist. And Urwerk makes adjustability a breeze with a PVD black titanium pin buckle for quick adjustments on the fly. Now the strap is a rectangular scale black monotone stitch alligator with a nice supple calfskin on the bottom. I'm hinting at some of the additional features that we'll see on the case back, but first let's take a look at the main event. This is why the watch is called the Tarantula. You can see the full span of the so-called Maltese cross mechanisms based on the old wandering hours clocks of the Renaissance and inspired by the early 1990s Audemars Piguet star wheel complication. Each one of these little discs actually aligns with the 0 to 60 minute track and offers a digital scale of the time. You can see based on the position of the numeral 3 just past the 45, we're approaching 350 right there. So that would be 350, that would be 355, that would be 60, and at that point the 4 enters on stage right and moves to 0, so it would be 4 o'clock. It's that simple. And in fact, I can show you by pulling the bullhead style crown that as you adjust the watch, the Maltese cross system actually tumbles the numerals to align them perfectly so that time is always available at a glance. And yes, this watch does feature luminova, so you can also view it at night. Now the UR-103 on which this watch is based is considered to be the watch that made Urwerk. Originally released in the early 2000s, in 2005 Urwerk started to open up the Maltese cross mechanism to reveal more of the underlying works. That was the 103.3 of 2005, and that was the watch that really set Urwerk on its meteoric rise to the top of independent high horology. Well, in 2009, the company launched the ultimate evolution of the UR-103, the Tarantula, allowing the entire mechanism to be viewed as if it were a giant mechanical metallic spider, hence the name Tarantula. But yet you can still see the case profile of that original seminal UR-103. Now the caliber inside is the Urwerk caliber 3.04. It has a 36-hour power reserve. It beats at a stately 21,600 vibrations per hour, so there is a conventional mechanical escapement in here, beating away with a perceptible tick, just like a normal mechanical watch. It is manual wind, and it has a unique display that runs in parallel to the Maltese cross system, and it's on the case back. Now what you're seeing here is titanium grade 5 and what Urwerk calls its control board. You see a power reserve indicator right here tracing that 36-hour power reserve with a little note at the bottom that 36 is capacity. You see what's known as the chronometer. Now what this does is it allows you to set the watch precisely. In addition to the running seconds, there is a little 0 to 15 minute calibrated scale so that if you do have any difficulty reading the radial scale on the dial, you can use this one for precise time setting. And then there's a feature that has really no parallel from any other manufacturer, with the possible exception of some of the MP Hublots that featured the so-called time control function. And this is a fine-tuning mechanism to allow you to make subtle changes to the rate of the balance. This is something most watchmakers wouldn't want a customer to touch with basically a 10-meter pole. Urwerk makes it easily accessible and even labels it for you. That's trust in the client, and of course, one of only 60 made, so exclusivity is assured. This is an important watch. In the annals of modern high horology, Urwerk is royalty. In addition to the fact that Martin Frei's designs pretty much revolutionized the industry, the unconventional alternative displays of time, Felix Baumgartner's accession to the AHCI, the elite club of independent watchmakers like F.P. Journe, like Philippe Dufour, the watch is just plain fun. It's spectacular to behold. And the fact is, it translates in a way that most high-end watches simply don't. You can take this watch anywhere, wear it for any occasion, and people who know nothing about watches will give you compliments. They'll ask questions about it. Not so much, what does it cost? Are you rich? But how does it work? How do you read it? Where did you get it? What's it called? It's the kind of watch that inspires an almost childish glee in the mind of anyone who sees it. And to me, that's the ultimate point of the luxury watch hobby, having fun. You can see this fun and fantastic Urwerk UR-103T Tarantula, one of 60 made in rose gold, on our website, watchyouwant.com.